The Process of Mitosis and Meiosis by Zulfikar. What is meiosis and mitosis? Well, mitosis is the process of cell division that produces identical copies of cells, and it is the fundamental process for life, while meiosis is the type of cell division that creates both egg and sperm cells. Mitosis occurs in somatic cells and contains 4 stages in total plus interphase. Interphase is the stage before cell division where the cell grows, copies DNA, and prepares for division. Phase 2 is prophase. During prophase, the chromosomes appear condensed and visible, the centrioles are at opposite poles of the cell, the spindle fibers form to bridge on both ends of the cell together, and the nuclear envelope breaks down and the chromosomes are free within the cytoplasm. Phase 3 metaphase. During metaphase, each chromosome with 2 chromatids line up on the metaphase plate and attach to the spindle fibers, pushing the nucleus out of the way. The nuclear envelope disappears and the chromosomes align along the equator of the cell, allowing the centrioles to connect to the chromosomes. Phase 4 anaphase. During anaphase, the centromeres split, allowing the chromatids within each chromosome to be separated and move toward the poles, and each half of the cell gets 1 chromatid from each chromosome. The final stage of mitosis is telophase and cytokinesis. During telophase, spindle fibers disperse, chromatids reach the opposite poles and become more diffuse. The nuclear envelope reforms and the cytoplasm starts to divide, and there are now 2 nuclei present. Cytokinesis then happens and the cytoplasm divides and finally splits the parent cell into 2 identical daughter cells. During cytokinesis, the membrane of the cell pinches within the cell equator, forming a cleft called the cleavage furrow. The process of meiosis. Meiosis occurs in 2 processes, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. The first stage of meiosis 1 is prophase. During prophase 1, chromosomes condense and nuclear envelope fragments. Homologous chromosomes bind firmly together along their length, which forms a tetrad, and crossing over occurs to the opposite poles of the cell. Next stage is metaphase 1. During metaphase 1, homologous chromosomes assemble at the metaphase plate where they then become maneuvered into place through the microtubules to form 4 chromatid groups and the nuclear membrane disintegrates. Anaphase 1. During anaphase 1, spindle microtubules pull the homologous chromosomes apart while the sister chromatids stay attached to the centromere and the homologous chromosomes move to the opposite poles of the cell. The last stage of meiosis 1 is telophase and cytokinesis. In this stage, sister chromatids arrive on the poles within the cell and begin to decondense. A nuclear envelope then forms around each nucleus, as well as the cytoplasm divides by each cleavage furrow, the result being 2 haploid cells, each containing a single duplicated copy of each homologous chromosome pair. Meiosis 2 then starts with prophase 2. In prophase 2, sister chromatids then condense and a new spindle begins to form. The nuclear envelope starts to fragment, and within the second meiotic division, homologous chromatids do not duplicate but merely separate. During metaphase 2, sister chromatids line up at the metaphase plate and the centrioles are at the poles, and a spindle then forms. The next stage is anaphase 2. During anaphase 2, sister chromatids are pulled apart by the shortening of the microtubules and the cell membrane begins to constrict. Last stages of meiosis 2 is telophase and cytokinesis. During this, chromosomes arrive at the poles of the cell and decondense. The nuclear envelope then surrounds the 4 nuclei, and the cleavage furrow divides 2 cells into 4 haploid cells, each with half the number of chromosomes of the parent cell. And this is the result of meiosis. Meiosis is necessary for sexual reproduction as it gives rise to both sperm and egg cells, during which is needed for fertilization. You may be wondering what the difference is between mitosis and meiosis. Meiosis is a cell division that creates both egg and sperm cells, while mitosis produces two diploid somatic cells that are genetically identical to each other, as well as to the original parent. Meiosis, on the other hand, produces four haploid gametes that are genetically identical from each other as well as the original parent.